So he's already getting a ribbing welcome, Frank D Messana. What's the D stand for? Dean. Dean. There we go.
Man.
Frank D Messana. Oh, okay. Just to make sure this advances.
All right, guys. I was originally asked, let me introduce myself. I'm Frank Messana. I'm a surveyor, last 5 years, 4 or 5 years with Yacht Masters Marine Surveying Consulting down in Naples, Florida. This is something new for us, the social media portion of yacht surveying. I don't think a lot of yacht surveyors really foray out of their comfort zone into the social media portion of it. I'm not a social media specialist by any means. As a matter of fact, I use Jeff Granger here for my internet and web material. I think they did a great job. But I am interested in expanding. And I've got a couple ideas if we want to speak offline about that, what I'm doing as far as social media aspects. But anyway, as far as my introduction goes.
Before you go, Ronald says, are you a member of NAMS or SAMS?
I am no longer a member of SAMS. I was affiliated with the SAMS organization. I am not affiliated with the SAMS organization. I did 4 years with them. Very happy, joyous, pleasurable, great years, and did a lot of boats. No problems, no issues, but we did not pursue any further involvement with each other. I'm now an associate with the IMS. So,
okay.
I'm a captain, a 100-ton master with my towing endorsement. Got 29 years with North Collier Fire District with the rank of battalion chief and a member of the Marine Rescue Division. Chapman School Seamanship graduate. I'm also a student with the IMS. I have my AVYC standards certificate. Certified Hazardous Materials Response Technician, Florida State Fire Officer and Instructor 3, surveyor for 4 years plus with those, and CEO of Yacht Masters Marine Surveying Consulting. So we're going to talk about a social media general overview. And this is, like I said, bifurcating from the your websites and your SEO and all that other stuff. So we're going to talk about reels, posts, use of hashtags, and choosing the right platform. Those could be Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Those are primarily the 4 main ones that I would suggest using. Reels and posts. We're going to talk about those differences. I start my surveys off every morning with a brief overview of what I'm doing with the boat. So, and I'll give you the example. Some of them you see are my friends on Facebook. I start with the boat in the morning. Good morning, this is Frank from Yacht Masters Marine Surveying Consulting. I'm doing a 2018 Regulator 32 this morning. I'll give a brief description, some of the brokerages I'm with, and that helps drive a lot of traffic. I've got nearly 1,300 friends on Facebook. A lot of my business comes from the social media portion of it. And a lot of times people see that as well. So reels and posts. So let's talk about the differences of those. Posts are typically a thought via text, photo, or video intended to appear on your page forever, unless you delete them, and can be viewed by anyone on the platform. Reels are in short form, vertical videos that can be up to seconds long. They can live online forever and designed to be distributed to more non-followers and followers. Use of hashtags. Does anybody ever get on Instagram and do hashtags? Going in here?
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.
So if you're doing a regulator, let's say we go back to the 2018 regulator boat. It's a good thing to drive some of your business if you say, hey, today's Frank's job, it's a 2018 regulator 32, hashtag regulator boats, hashtag Yamaha power, hashtag Yamaha outboards. That drives some stuff as well. Okay. Hashtag, they can help categorize your content, make it discoverable to users beyond your immediate followers, and contributing to building a broader community. They play a significant role in the Instagram algorithm, influencing how many people see your posts. They play a significant role in the Instagram algorithm, influencing how many see your posts. I put that twice. Choosing the right platform. Audience is absolutely the most important factor when choosing a social media platform. Understand the different platforms and their uses. Align with your overall social media marketing goals. Does anybody in here at all use Facebook on a daily basis? Who signs into Facebook every morning? Okay. Do you like anything on Facebook?
I like your posts.
You like my posts? You see my posts?
Yeah.
That's kind of the primary source of my business.
And that's where it's going. And people like to communicate with each other. And that's why this is kind of a new, neat thing that I found in my business model, has helped.
So I know we have a member in India who gets 90% of his business from Facebook.
I would say that is very, 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 very accurate because I don't do SEO. I left my former company, about 8 months ago, and I have been a lot of word of mouth, and a lot of my stuff is on Facebook. And a lot of my stuff is on Facebook, and it's successful. It's because people see what you're doing. You know what I mean? I do some crazy boats. I do, let's say, a 42 Midnight Express with Quint, 450 racing engines on it. And, I'll start off my survey in the morning like, hey, this is Frank from Yacht Masters. I'm doing a 42-foot Midnight Express going out of Haulover this morning. And I think we're going to hit 90 miles an hour because I'm cocky like that because I've done a couple and I know we can hit 90. And then I'll take a video an hour and a half later doing 90 miles an hour out of Haulover Inlet. So, it's street cred. There's street cred involved in that stuff. And I think it's important to be able to share that. And when other people see that you're doing it, you're proving you're doing it, you're not just talking about doing it, you're actually doing the work and they see you on social media doing it. I think that's very important. Okay. This one here. So platforms. YouTube, 81%. Anybody in here watch YouTube?
Yep.
Okay, if you have a problem, great, here's one for us. Anybody have a question about how to do compression checks on an engine? We all know how to do that, mostly. If you had a question about it, you may go to YouTube and find the information on that. YouTube can help you do a lot of those things. If you want to find a marine surveyor, try finding a marine surveyor on YouTube. Do you know how difficult that is? Very. So this is an untapped marketplace that we're not utilizing. Facebook. We talked about Facebook. We don't see a lot of surveyors putting out what they're doing on Facebook. Instagram. Pinterest, not so much. LinkedIn. LinkedIn's very good. We speak a lot of professionals, the professional levels on the Instagram. So you don't want to do a lot of the videos and that kind of stuff on there. This is just a litany of different ones we use. Vimeo, I don't use them. Pinterest, wouldn't use. LinkedIn, yes. Twitter, which is now X. I don't do a lot of Twitter. Facebook's the big one. YouTube. There's a number of these on here. How to expand your brand. Again, it's driving traffic. You're creating engagement. So when you're creating engagement by doing these things and videos and hashtagging people and friends and communicating with them, you're forming a community with them. And, when you're sharing your stuff and you're sharing their stuff and you're talking about your stuff and talking about their stuff, it kind of jumps onto each other, and it makes you more recognizable. Okay, we're talking about cross-promoting on social media channels, post on your social media accounts often, post content that links to your website, which we're going to get into in a couple slides later, which shows you don't want to contaminate too much of your stuff because it's very, very, very engaging process. Post when your audience is present. You don't want to be posting your videos at 4 o'clock in the morning. Kind of want to do it.
When we first got involved with social media, it used to bother me that you didn't always hear back from people. People didn't like what you put up, or they didn't say anything. But I learned over the years that people are listening, they are watching, they are reading. They just choose not at that time to engage with you. But it doesn't mean that your 2, 3, 4, 5,000 people, the followers, aren't actually reading what you're putting out. I think that's quite an important point.
Thank you so much for that. And you're right. And the reason why I believe so much in building my knowledge and building as surveyors, utilizing social media, it's because of those people that you're talking about, like those guys that are just chilling out by the sidelines. They really don't say a lot. And then all of a sudden you'll be somewhere and they'll come up and they'll be like, very quietly, like watching your videos.
Yeah.
They do. And it's there's some people that are critical of it. I mean, I've had some other surveyors that amazing, outstanding surveyors that really are pinnacles of this industry that have mentored me by saying, hey, Frank, watch what you put sometimes on Facebook, because that's a big deal. Be very careful about it, and I appreciate those comments. Choose your platforms wisely, monitor and adjust, find the right tone of voice, know your audience. Always positive. So I could have a boat that has 45 findings on it, regular center console. You wouldn't know by looking at my videos because they're all positive. They're great, they're upbeat, positive, this and that. Hey, when they get the report, that's a different story. And I like to keep it that way because I think it's good for the industry, and I think it's good for what we're trying to do in the advertising and driving business portion of this. Produce valuable content, what to avoid, be human, be normal. I mean, we're online right now. How many people do we have watching?
15?
Okay, 15 people. We've got another 15 in the room. You know, I'm being frank. I'm being the guy that you can talk to on the phone, and that's the kind of guy that I want to be in my videos as well. Define your goals, measurable objectives, know your target audience, understand your audience's preferences, needs, tailored content, create engaging content. I like to do exciting stuff. The big boats, the fast boats are the ones that I really want to make sure that I'm putting out there and making them look cool and making them look fun and entertaining. That gets people watching. Utilize influencer marketing. There's a girl, and I'll just say her name on here because I had her link and I'm not going to be able to link to it. And she is so unique. It's called melissasellsboats.com. She's from South Florida. This girl is so gregarious and so amazing and so animated in her videos. And I watched her come from a small broker that was somewhat, this is a broker, not a surveyor, but somewhat small broker to moving a lot of fiberglass. And she's on Instagram and she's got followers. She's almost become an influencer, which I think is great. I think it's great. It's driving her business. It's engaging people, and it's just, you can't stop watching it. So.
No, Frank, when you do your videos, your Facebook, you do it live or you do it and then edit it and then put it out?
So I'm Facebook Live.
Okay.
So I do Facebook Live, which there are some pitfalls in that, and we can talk about some of that now, but or later. There are some things that are things to think about, like whether or not you're you don't want to give too much information about the particulars of the vessel. So if there's vessel names, if there's clients, I mean, I work with some clients that are, NDA kind of clients and everything like that, where it's like, hey, you don't want to show so-and-so's boat right here, but it's so-and-so's boat right there. So yes, the Facebook Live versus editing, I don't have time to edit. If I do move to a different level, and I'm talking to another person about the editing stuff like that, I just wouldn't have time to do it. And that's another challenge we'll talk about in a few minutes about when we start doing social media, because all of us in here are busy as surveyors.
Oh, no. There you go.
Okay. Using social media for business, brand awareness. You can see my logo. I love my logo. I took a lot of painstaking effort to make that logo and have it made professionally for me. I put the logo everywhere. The logo's on my Helly Hansen jackets. The logo's on my hats, which brings me to another great thing. We'll talk about Hatgate. Years ago, I worked for a company. It's really called Hatgate. I worked for a survey company, and we didn't have any hats. So I went out, I had a sleeve of hats made, and I started giving out the hats on, without the name of the company, but the company's logo. I started giving out names of, hats of the brokers and the clients and everything like that. Then the brokers got jealous because they weren't getting some hats. The hats ended up on top of the Eiffel Tower on social media. The hats started, ending up in Nassau, Atlanta on social media. This is a real story. And it just goes to show you how important social media is with your brand. You never know what can happen. Okay. So this is where we're talking about the comments and everything like that on social media. You have to engage to be engaged. So we want to use there's a couple schools of thought out here, and you may be able to help me if I'm right, fact check this one. The 10-5-1 method for success. You can't just put your social media out there and expect everybody to just like your stuff. You have to like their stuff too. You have to engage. You have to engage to help the algorithm out. So 10 likes, 10 views, 5 likes, and 1 comment. So, or one comment. 80-20 rule. So I have a business, Facebook page, which I don't have very many followers on that, as far as this goes. I mean, I've got about 400 likes on it. And that's a new business page I launched against my 1,300 friends on Facebook, where you can't leverage your 1,300 friends on your Facebook page all with business. So you have to put your cool stuff out there. Like I'm into sports cars, so I put my experience out there with my cars. I put my daughter's cheerleading success out there on Facebook. I put my dogs. I have Cavalier King Charles, which are essentially the most amazing dogs in the world. I do. But then, then you throw the business in there. And what you do that, because you have to retain your people. You have to retain the people that are part of your social media group, because if you business them, they're out, they're gone. They're like, this guy's just using us for business. You're going to want to avoid posting personal information, private conversations, offensive and or discriminatory comments, personal problems or complaints, which I have to tell you, these first 4 or 5 things, I try daily to moderate. And sometimes I put stuff, I post it, I'll delete it. I'm like, I can't do this. Whereas 5 years ago, before I was using it for business and pleasure, I would have had that stuff on there. Inappropriate photos or videos. It depends on how much scotch or Macallan I've had for the day. Confidential information, false information, negative comments about employers or colleagues, and illegal activities. Anybody have any questions on any of that stuff?
Can I just say something on copyright? We've had 2 IRMS members in the last year who've been sued for breach of copyright. And they both pinched images from the internet, just went onto the internet and pinched an image and published it as their own, effectively passing it off as their own. They were both from well-known photographic agencies. One got a bill of £2,000. What's that? $3,000, $2,500. And he rang me. He said, "What do I do?" And I said, "Pay the bill," because you won't get out of it. You've nicked a photo that had a copyright on it, and you've infringed the copyright. So we'd urge you all, use your own photos, absolutely fine. But if you're going to pinch somebody else's, be very, very careful.
And I've been told the same thing, so I've been on all my pictures now, I have my name at the bottom,
Absolutely.
watermarked in it.
Yeah, you should copyright your own images as well. Yeah.
Right, because that's happened, I've heard several people following through, and I think I've seen it before, and like, we post a lot of local pictures, and my name's on the bottom of it, so if they want to use it, and I had a call to submit some pictures to somebody.
And it's done quite innocently. People don't actually know they're breaching copyright. But it's really quite common.
That's the beauty of where I live.
No copyright laws.
We're jealous.
If somebody sends me that kind of a letter, it goes in this.
I think we established we're very, very envious of your situation.
I'm not, I don't want to.
Everything has got a yin and the yang.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, social media by the numbers. These are some numbers. There are 3.5 billion active social media users today. There are more than 50 million small businesses using Facebook pages to connect with customers. According to 90% of marketers, their social media marketing efforts have increased the exposure of the business, and 75% say they've increased travel. Agree. That's all I can say is I totally agree. Love the social media component of it. 71% of consumers who have a good social media experience with a brand are likely to recommend it to others. That's huge. A component that Mr. Granger may agree with me on, in social media and web-based things, you're very accountable. You're very accountable. Google ratings, comments, likes, whatever, that's forever. Internet's forever. Just like, you tell your family members and people, pictures, posts, things, it stays on the internet forever. So I do like this portion of it. You are flirting with a little bit of disaster when you're out there so public. Because when you're very public, you also are a very public target. So you have to make sure you have your house in order when you're doing this stuff. So it's a word of caution to anybody that's thinking about foraying into this. 21% of consumers are more likely to buy from brands that they can reach on social media, and it's getting more and more. So I've had this conversation a number of times with younger people. I feel most of the people with disposable income are Facebook users at this time. And because I've been asked why my Instagram, why I put so much effort into Facebook versus Instagram. And the younger guy then says, when I told him that about my demographics, he goes, Frank, he goes, who do you think the ones are telling these older guys with these, disposable income are the buyers? And it's the younger guys looking on Instagram. So that's why the cross-platform stuff is important. And in me personally, I'll be concentrating a lot more on the Instagram and YouTube stuff. 74% of consumers share video content from brands on social media. That's true. 80% of social marketers say that the key strategy is increase engagement across social channels. Yes. We spoke about the paid advertising, I think, a little bit before. I think that's not my venue to talk about. Is your business fit for the future? Visual content works well on social media. Video content, especially, is ideal for grabbing people's attention as well as conveying your personality and passion to your customers. Visual content stands out as people scroll through their social feeds, so they're more likely to view it and engage with it. It also allows you to say more than you could in a typical post without taking up much room. Create interesting, narrative-driven video to get the best reaction. Your streaming videos keep you in the forefront of your selected audience. Oddly enough, it is the cool stuff because we do it every day. And I'll just point out Lloyd. Lloyd surveys some of the most amazing cold molded boats, I think, in the United States. I survey some of the coolest, fastest looking boats in South Florida and Miami. And people don't get to do that. They don't get to see that stuff every day. They enjoy it. They want to see it. So it's engaging to them.
Do you have a recommendation on video length? Are you putting short clips up?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Short clips. I think my Facebook Lives are usually limited to 30 seconds. If I'm over 30 seconds, that's abnormal for me. So, and plus that also you run into the risk of really giving too much of the boat or particulars away. So, okay. Content creators, you've seen some people change their Facebook profile from housewife, doctor, physician to digital content creators. That's exactly what they are. They're responsible for producing material that engages consumers through written and visual storytelling. A content creator can produce relevant content monthly, weekly, and even daily. The role of a content creator is both creative and analytical, using trends in consumer or audience habits to make media that helps connect people to a brand. I had a couple attachments at the end of this here for these, and I can share them via email or contact with me after this.
I didn't see TikTok on the list you were talking about earlier. Are you on TikTok?
No, I'm not, and I don't know. I have mixed emotions about TikTok until we get things sorted out over here. Me personally, I don't have anything against TikTok. I think it's entertaining. I try and keep my social proclivities out of things like this, but I think until we get things sorted out with TikTok in the United States, I'm not going to put any effort into participating in TikTok until that's done.
Any questions?
Any questions? All right, thank you. Oh, that's right.
Not a question, a comment, but everybody, if you go out and take a look at, I mean, I would regard Frank, particularly in the marine surveying industry, as probably one of the, he hits on a lot of the stuff that I talked about. Number one, positive attitude, smiling, doing all that type of stuff. But on top of it, his social media is entertaining. I just really enjoy going out and when his posts come out, they see me.
There you go.
Thanks, bro.
It's all
If you're looking for an example.